You already know what time it is. Welcome to the SPT Podcast, Sports Pop Talk Radio. I am your host, RC. You can follow me on Twitter at RC Tweeted. Please follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at SPT Podcast. You can also find us on Facebook and YouTube at Sports Pop Talk Radio. On to the next topic, which everyone has been discussing. Who is the GOAT? Now, since probably the 90s, there's been one GOAT. And his name is Michael Jordan. And now we have a guy named LeBron James who people are referring to as the GOAT, which means he has overtaken Michael Jordan's throne. Confusing, to say the least. Michael Jordan has 6 championships, and LeBron James has 3 championships. That alone makes Michael Jordan the GOAT in my eyes, but since people like to debate and bring up other topics, this is something that I can do as well. Now, LeBron James is a great player, and when it's all said and done, I believe he has a chance, a slim chance, to take over the throne if he can compile 3 to 4 more championships and continue his dominance in the East. As he's done, maybe I would look at that at the end of his career and say, you know what, this guy carried his team to 6, 7 championships, is the leading scorer in all time, up there in rebounds, up there in assists. Yes, maybe LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. But to do that right now is just disrespectful to Michael Jordan and all the things he's done for the NBA. Let's not forget who LeBron James was watching growing up. It was the GOAT, Michael Jordan. That's one of his all-time favorite players, and he respects Michael Jordan's game to the point where I haven't heard if anybody has asked LeBron if he is better than Michael Jordan. I don't think that LeBron can justifiably say that he's better than Michael Jordan, considering the ring difference alone. When you are playing this game to be a champion and one person has double the championships as you, it just doesn't make sense to bring up the fact that somebody else can be better than a person who has double what you're playing for. So I just like to stop my argument there, but we can continue with a big argument the Jordan backers have, which I do believe in, is the strength of the NBA at the times which these two greats played. Now, Michael Jordan coming into the NBA, there was the Celtics and the Lakers, and those two teams were very dominant, including the Pistons. Not a lot of people bring that up, but I could bring that up just for the simple fact that if you're going to compare Michael Jordan to LeBron James, let's look at these losses here. Let's look at this loss where Michael Jordan in 95 just came out of retirement and took a loss to the Orlando Magic featuring Shaquille O'Neal, maybe one of the most dominant players. No, not maybe, is one of the most dominant players in NBA history. So that, especially with Jordan coming out of retirement, coming back from baseball, he wasn't in his prime basketball form, and he knew that. So what did he do? He came back the next year and won a championship, and the year after that won a championship, and a year after that won a championship, which those championships alone would put him on the same level of championships with LeBron James now. And that's after the fact that he won 3 and retired. So now we look at LeBron's I'm just going to bring up a LeBron historic series, which was the finals versus the Dallas Mavericks, where he was a part of the Big Three with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, and LeBron was entering his prime and lost to Dirk Nowitzki-led Dallas Mavericks team. A good team, but nothing close to the Orlando Magic team with Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway, and 3D. Just absolutely a good team. I'm not going to say they're great. I'm not going to say the Mavericks are great. A lot of people thought the Big Three were great, and they lost to the Mavericks. So, put those two losses to the side. We can cancel those out, and we can look at the rest of these guys' careers, with Michael Jordan having to dethrone the bad boy Pistons, which was not an easy feat, as it took him a few years to do so. And then the decline of the Boston Celtics. Jordan didn't really have to worry so much about that at that time. He got into the league, but was still a factor. And then we have the New York Knicks, which was a very, very, very good team. One of my favorite teams growing up. A very defensive-minded team. And, I mean, they are some roughneck guys that, oh, man, you run into them with Patrick Ewing, Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley front court. Good luck beating them, but Michael Jordan was able to do it. Do I think LeBron would be able to beat that team? I do not. I feel that team is too physical for LeBron James. Michael Jordan is not such a physical specimen, but he wouldn't back down from anything. And I don't know if LeBron has that same mentality. The guys that LeBron's going up against these days, we can say Paul George-led Indiana Pacers team, not very physical, not very intimidating. Boston Celtics right now, not very intimidating, with a superstar being a 5'9" point guard who they had in the first two games and lost, and in game 3 on the road without this superstar, the Celtics were able to pull one game out of the hat and now are down 1-2 to the greatest player of all time, some people say, LeBron James, which is absolutely ridiculous. So, with that being said, as you can see, my opinion favors Michael Jordan highly. I feel like LeBron James is more of a guy you compare to Magic Johnson, compared to Bill Russell, if you would like. But Michael Jordan, I feel, is in his own echelon as the greatest player of all time. Please leave your questions and comments on our social media outlets at SPT Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and at Sports Pop Talk Radio on Facebook and YouTube. And maybe you will be a part of Volume 2 of MJ versus LeBron. Thanks for joining us. Volume 2 on the way.